Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the South Avenue Sports Complex. You can see Strath Haven teeing the ball up at the 40-yard line, and we're about to begin another season of Interboro Buccaneer football. Your defending Del Val champion Interboro Bucks are set to take on the Strath Haven Panthers here at the South Avenue Sports Complex. It's Friday, August 25th. It's the first game of the brand new season here in 2017. For Strath Haven, Emmett Young going to kick off. That's number 14. Back deep for Interboro, Khalid Kuyate, as well as Andrew Grebe, and he'll get the kickoff, Will Grebe. He'll take it out to about the 27-yard line. And we'll see the debut of one Jared Della Priscoli. Junior quarterback, going to take his first snap as the starter for the Bucks. Kuyate, the tailback, he gets the pitch. And it will be a flag on the first play. Joe Forte, just like last year, the fullback who helped open up a big hole there. Looked like there could have been a hold on the left side of the offensive line. We'll wait on the signal from the official. Probably, at least on paper, is probably the best game in Delaware County tonight, and you can't really tell by the crowd here. It is late August, and we're not quite, not quite back at school yet. I guess this is my first real paid gig of the school year. But the teachers we come back on Monday, and then the students will come back the following Tuesday. So we're, first game of football season pretty much means we're back. This is Forte up the middle, big hole, and Forte going to get about 19 yards, maybe even 20, depending on the spot. So fullback right up the middle, and got to give a lot of credit to the grounds crew. I've never seen this field look this good. Also, Mother Nature, the man upstairs bringing down a lot of rain this year. But this field is in beautiful condition, nice green grass. Looks phenomenal. So, big shout out to Chuck and John and all the guys on the grounds crew. Kuyate on the pitch. As you would expect, a lot of ground game in the early going, for a number of reasons. I mean, obviously Steve Lennox likes to control the game on the ground, but on the other hand, you have a junior quarterback who has seen very, very little varsity time, just mop up duty in the last year, in Jared Della Priscoli. So they'll probably only have him throwing when they absolutely need to. Let him build up his confidence a little bit. But not to mention Strath Haven, not a pushover. One of the biggest games, even though it's not a league opponent, is right here in the opener. Next couple of weeks, Norristown and Newman Goretti, not quite on the same level as Strath Haven, I would say, who, even though they didn't have a tremendous record last year, was a good team. And I got to tell you, man, last year's game at Strath Haven, with the exception of all the bugs and stuff, was maybe one of the best games of the year, except for the Academy Park game, of course. Interboro came back from 2 touchdowns and then 2-point conversion at the end of the game to pretty much steal it from Strath Haven on that opening Friday night. One of the heroes of that game, Chris Thomas, down there on the sidelines. Injury preventing him from starting his college career, so he's down on the sidelines right now. Another first down for the Bucks. Della Priscoli on the scramble. Forte again. And I would say that, what you've seen so far, you pretty much get used to seeing for the whole year. Forte and Kuyate handling most of the ball carrying duties. .7 yards on first down. We'll get a look at that offensive line led by the big left tackle, Noah Nickel. Kuyate within a yard of the first down. So I have Ricky Neal in there, number 72. Brett McLaughlin, or I'm sorry, Nick Ewing, number 50. Brett McLaughlin is tight end. He'll be wearing number 6 this year. I'm still working off of last year's numbers. Tim Convery, one of the wide receivers, he's number 11 on the outside. So they did give Kuyate the first down on that. And Zizza, also one of the linemen. So some experience mixed in with some new blood on the offensive line. Try to run a sweep there to Grebe, and Grebe is stuffed behind the line for about an 8-yard loss. That didn't fool anybody on the Strath Haven defense. Somehow this press box became known as the David White press box. That happened without my consent or knowledge. I'm going to figure out exactly how that happened. He's a local politician, apparently. I guess he's some type of sponsor here, so big shout out to David White. I've been calling this the Bill Soroka press box for years, so maybe I just need to donate some money or something. Third down. Third down and about 15 yards, 16 yards to go. Della Pascoli, that was his first pass attempt. Back to pass, they're going to run a screen. Kuyate makes the first man miss. Kuyate looks like probably a first down as he's able to bob and weave his way near the 30-yard line, and they're not even going to wait for a measurement. They're just moving it. So great job by Kali Kuyate, who really, people have been talking about and has made contributions for a couple of years. This will be his first year as the feature ball carrier, but if you remember back last year, he had a couple of big runs in the district final game. So this is someone who's made contributions first as a sophomore, mainly on defense. Then last year started to play a little bit more on the offensive side, and this year, like, he's more than likely going to be like the big star of the team. Loss of a yard there on first down, but the Bucks have managed to maintain control for the first 4 minutes or so of game action, which is exactly what Steve Lennox wants. He loves to control the ball, loves to do it via the ground game. And if you remember from the game last year, lots of offense, not much defense. This time Kuyate on the sweep, and he winds up getting about 5 yards. Really bottled up and, again, snuck his way through a small opening, fell forward, and it wound up being a 5-yard gain.
Trip side, we had the backer came down outside of our tight end there.
And that might be a first down, because Strath Haven definitely jumped. Also, Wyatt McDevitt on the offensive line. So talk about a versatile kid, a kid that takes AP classes, a kid that plays, offensive line on the football team, and then also one of the key roles in the school play last year. Also, matter of fact, his partner in the school play wound up getting a cappy. That's how good it was. And then the musical, also a key contributor to that. So Wyatt McDevitt, really one of those kids that, can do it all. Kuyate for about 7. Is that what he did last year? He played golf. How about that? He played golf last year. Maybe he saw that he was a 200-pound kid. There were some, openings on the offensive line, and said, "Sign me up."
What's your question?
But good for Wyatt McDevitt.
He's over on your tight end side.
He's the guy with the ball. He's the
Man
center.
in your gap over your center.
And Zizza and Nick Ewing, the guards.
You got
And you have Ricky Neal and Noah Nickel. Good size as the two bookend tackles.
to the tight end side. But
Your tight end is Brett McLaughlin.
With the interior lineman, you're getting different looks. Sometimes they're not consistent.
Rick's mom, Vicky Neal, one of the big sponsors of the Bucks football team, too, is Kuyate stuffed behind the line of scrimmage on third down. Vicky Neal, one of the State Farm. Also, she helped with that big grant, State Farm anyway, helped with that big grant that the folks down in the shop classes got last year for the hydroponics lab. So Vicky Neal really a big contributor for Interboro, as well as being the mother of Ricky Neal. So fourth down, backwards pass to Kuyate. He's going to have to stretch it out, and this drive is going to stall. Nice 4-point throw by Luke Healy as well. The belly to back suplex as Kuyate goes down, and he'll just have to shift gears and start playing defense now. So 6.5 minutes, no points, but Bucks look pretty good. And now we'll see Strathaven. Jake Fisher, number 7, the quarterback. And their initial carry will go about 3. Nick O'Connor, not a huge kid, 5'10", 163 pounds, so smallish for a running back. Also joined in the backfield by Thomas Foster, who's even smaller at 140 pounds.
Slot T.
This time,
Coming down here.
it'll be O'Connor again. A good tackle by Kuyate. Make it third down and about 5 to go. As the first quarter's progressed, there's been, a few more students trickle in, which is nice. It's a tough game to get people out to because it's just like you're hanging on to the last remnants of summer. Some people may still be down the shore or on vacation.
One by 3. The wingbacks 1 by 3.
Some people may not even know there's a game.
Wham. Wham.
Up the middle goes number 35, Zach Hussein.
He's getting blocked.
27-yard line. Be first down for the Panthers. I didn't notice that. Apparently not. Band is here. Cheerleaders not.
Pass! Pass! Pass!
Fisher up, but is 10 yards over everybody. Tight coverage on the play by Dan Call. Pass was intended for Foster, but there were 3 Bucks around him, and the ball was 10 yards over his head, so really not much of a threat there. Fisher does throw a nice tight spiral down the field, though. Decent ball. Well,
Louis.
Fisher under center this time. Hussein. And a flag on the play. I kind of thought that was going to be a face mask because it was thrown after the tackle was made. I like these Rocky t-shirts the band is featuring. So I don't know if they're going to play their field show at halftime or not, but there's not a ton of home games this year, so not like a lot of chances to see him if you know, O'Connor spins, brought down after about a yard. So 45-yard line or so. We're zeroing in on the 3:20 mark to go in quarter number 1.
Second and a long 8.
Fisher under center, split backs. Really not a formation that's altogether that much different than what Interboro runs a lot of times. That was Hussein.
He's just standing there. He's not even moving.
Like Ventura will check into the game, giving a little bit of a respite to Marquise Bird. Marquise, 11th grader, one of the few kids that making the team as a freshman a couple years ago. Still really hasn't worked his way, as to become a prominent player yet, but maybe that'll happen this year. But Bird trots off and again is spelled by Ventura in what's more than likely a passing down. Not so much as they go with Hussein up the middle. It'll be 4th down and about 2 or 3. So Coach Clancy, decision to make. You don't want to give Interboro the ball in this great field position. And I don't see their kicker, Emmett Young, coming onto the field. So it looks like they're at least lining up as if they're going to go for it on 4th down. They sure are. And a 1st down. That time it was Sean Daly with the carry. Minute 30 to go, quarter number 1. 43-yard line.
They're going too tight. They're going to get comfortable.
And 1st down. So two teams really have put together impressive drives. No points yet. Fisher, he had a wide open man in Ethan Belleville. He would have thrown that ball up to Belleville and he would have been able to make the catch. He would have walked into the end zone. Instead, 2-yard on the ground. Be 2nd down and 8. And we have a botched attempt at a sweep. Play busted up by Gino Marcasano, number 17. Again, someone who's waited his turn for a while has Gino. And now as a senior, showing himself as a contributor. So good for him, a kid who didn't get frustrated and was, patient with his role. Saw him a little bit on special teams last year, but this year, working his way into the starting lineup. So good for Gino. And he helped bust up that play. So too did Strath with their inability to run the sweep. Somebody went the wrong way there. 3rd down and 12. Fisher out of the shotgun, over the middle, almost intercepted. Andrew Grebe had a hand on it. So this time Strath may very well punt the ball away. But we'll see. Kuyate going back, as is Convery. And they will punt the ball. The snap is good. Kicked by number 73. And they decide to hold off on it. They run it back towards the home bench. Does Convery. 1 block away. Convery down the sidelines. Convery, if he can beat his man, and he checked up, and Convery's going to go into the end zone on the last play of the first quarter for the Bucs' first touchdown of the year. No flags on the field. They faked the reverse, and Kuyate made a tremendous block. Another great block also by Forte, who came back and made a block on his man. And then Convery down the sidelines, and I really thought that Zach Hussein had him lined up. Convery took a little bit of a stutter step and was able to throw off Hussein and walked into the end zone for a great touchdown, a real highlight reel one to start the season.
Hey, Mark, were you asking about that trips? You asking about what the D-backs did or what your line did, defensive line?
And he's going to try and kick the extra point, too, on top of all that. Ventura will hold. And, of course, the special teams woes continue. As I can't tell you how many times last year they had to call timeout on a stinking extra point. They had to rush Noah Nickel out there. So Coach Lennox will go out there, and I guess, you don't mind trading a touchdown for a burnt timeout this early in the game. If it was the fourth quarter, I'm not so sure Coach would be as nonchalant about it, but 6-0 to score. So Brett McGlock on the long snapper. The holder is going to be Ventura. And then Convery, the kicker, and that kick is not good. So on the last play of the first quarter, Interboro will take a 6-0 lead on a great punt return, a long punt return. Really one that you have to look at as being probably one of the longer ones in Bucs history. Somewhere around that 90-yard mark. He caught that back, pretty deep. But they were able to make something happen out of it. Again, it really set up by a great block by Kuyate. They faked the handoff. Convery, very smart to not try to hand it off. And Kuyate, whether it was, on accident or on purpose, grabbed the first pursuer, knocked him off. And then once they ran towards the home sideline, Forte kicked back and made a very nice block to help send Convery on his way, and then he did the rest of it. No secret as to what Interboro is going to do on kickoffs and punt returns. I mean, they've been running really a similar play for as long as I've been watching them. But the fact is, if it continues to work and other teams can't stop it and it's run well, that's the result. So Convery will line it up to kick it off at the 40. I had no idea McDonald's still sold salads. I had no idea. They even threw a lime on there, huh? It's a very festive salad. That's awesome. Katie Maggs here as always. Strathaven now has to rush a kick returner on. That's Daly, it looks like. So a squib kick, something you've seen Interboro employ quite a bit. That's Foster. Foster tries to get to the outside. And Dan Call, while he didn't necessarily make the tackle, he slowed him up a little bit. It may have been Kevin Washington that'll get credit for that.
Is that you, Mark? Mark, when you asked about the trips adjustment. Yeah, well, the D-back to the side of the trips is loose off of him, and that outside linebacker goes out.
So 27-yard line will be Strath Haven's line of scrimmage, 11:50 to go.
Inside.
Quarter number 2.
And then
Bird
came to that side.
back in. Doesn't have time to get settled.
They're aligned to the outside. You could run like a wrap back.
Run
wrap
outside.
back inside there,
Grieve
or
with
something
the
up through the middle.
tackle.
You got one linebacker sitting back
That
in
was
there.
Hussein
If we
for
get
about
a
2 or
block
3.
on the two defensive linemen to that side.
This time Daly. Make it 3rd and 5. Third down, maybe the long 5, maybe even 6. Fisher under center with split backs. 2 receivers to the near end. Fisher, 3-step drop and flips it up.
Turn around, Timmy. Yeah.
And to no fault of his own, Tim Convery with the breakup there. I'm not so sure he saw that ball coming, but intended for Thomas Foster. Looked like they tried to run a little wheel route there. And Foster had a beat on it, but the ball ended up hitting Convery in the helmet. So they'll try it again. Ryan Krause is the punter, and real good punt last time, but it was brought back for a touchdown by Convery. This time they're going to go to Kuyate, and I'm not so sure that's a great idea either. This time they're running again towards the home bench. Kuyate going to run out of room, though. Better pursuit this time by the Panthers. Sam Burke with the stick. A little bit of help from Daly. So it did a little bit better job of holding contain there. But decent field position. 37-yard line will be where Della Priscoli and the Bucks take over.
Got it. Okay.
Big
Trips right. Yeah. Jet that.
hats off to these Bucks fans who, again, are trickling in little by little. Della Priscoli.
Tight end.
He fires a laser intended for Brett McLaughlin. Maybe take a little bit off of that ball. McLaughlin open would have been first down yardage, but be 2nd down and 10. And I was going to say, just, want to give a big shout out to the dearly departed Nate Murtha, who did a fantastic job starting quarterback last year. Really just almost no mistakes throughout the year. Played defense and served as the punter as well. Really great job by Murtha. Forte this time on the carry gets about 4. See Washington come in. 3rd down and 6. Under 10 to go in quarter number 2.
Gun righty. Check that to Minnesota. Too shallow.
Washington lined up on the outside, as is Kuyate.
The bubble's open right there.
Kuyate, but not much running room.
They're sliding off our offensive line like the offensive line's waiting
John
for them to
Morris
come
and
upfield.
Ethan
But
Belleville
once they
with
saw
the
Garrett
stop.
going on the sprint,
4th down
they
and
just
5.
left the defensive line.
And it
Our
may be high
forwards
time
were
for a
just like
punt.
waiting for them to come upfield.
So Della Priscoli will also punt. And he'll probably have better ones over the course of the next 2 years, I'm sure. One of the nice things about having a junior quarterback is the idea that, you're going to get a lot of games under your belt. With any luck, they play 12, 13 games this year, and maybe even a few more if they can advance into the playoffs, deep into the playoffs, and then come back next year with all those games under your belt, and really be ready to take it on next year. So I like the concept or the idea of having a junior starting at quarterback. 45-yard line, Fisher floats one up, beautiful ball. Danny Cole's got to turn around. He didn't, but again, ball a little bit short. Ball thrown well, just didn't have enough mustard on it. If he's able to hit Foster in stride, that's 6 because Cole doesn't even turn around. Now, he'll get credit for a pass defense because it hit him in the shoulder pad. But Cole's got to turn around there. Now he's got to look at the eyes of Foster, and when Foster looks up for that ball, he's got to make that move around. Because if he runs into Foster there, that's going to be pass interference 10 times out of 10. Oh, Sean Daly on the sweep. Third and 5. Again, defensive coordinator Mike D'Esposito, who's gone unmentioned so far, but he's back again for another year. Him and Coach Lennox, 2 peas in a pod. D-Rock's been coaching defense forever, first at St. James and then now here. Member of the Interboro Hall of Fame, Fisher. Going to be stopped a little bit shy of that first down, if you ask me. Now, we'll see. Fourth and about 2 at the 47. So Clancy has gone for it in this situation earlier in the game. So Hussein, after the initial contact, is able to fall forward. Now, Hussein's a little bit bigger than O'Connor, who has gotten, the other guy getting carries, and Daly. O'Connor and Daly both in the 160, 180 range. Hussein's about 200 pounds, so he adds a little bit more muscle after he may be able to, fall forward after some contact. So they do get that 4th and short, and they'll maintain possession at the 44-yard line, does Strath Haven. 7 minutes and counting in the second quarter. Hussein. And that'll be very close to a first down, about a yard short. Grebe, Ventura both there on the stop. So 2nd and short. And Strath Haven will get the first down there. Rick Neal with the stop, or Zizza rather with the stop. But Zizza, who really made his presence felt on defense a lot last year. See Neal check out, and Elijah Mixit will come in. Big number 70 on the defensive line.
They're measuring it.
And I would have thought that was a gimme for the first down, but they're not so much, says the referee. Then it'll be a first down.
Slot. See. And they're running everything to the tight end. Slot T right, tight ends left.
So first down for the Panthers.
Wham left, wham left, wham left.
And
wham
again,
left.
Hussein stopped after about 3, driven back. Forward progress to the 33 probably, 32 maybe. Our longtime PA announcer gives Brett McLaughlin credit for the tackle, so we'll stick with that. Keeping it classy as always in the student section. Long count by Fisher.
Sweep, yeah.
And a great job of pursuit in the backfield. Gino Marcassano, as well as Drew Dowdy, Ryan Dowdy. I call him Drew Dowdy. His real name is Ryan. But no gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and long again. Four and a half to go.
They're going to waggle out of this. Motion, yeah, motion. Pass.
It's time.
Pass,
Oh, and a
pass,
big
yeah,
stick by Marcassano. Yeah, when you're 165 pounds, that blind side hit doesn't have the same effect as maybe if you're like 220 or 230 or whatever. But Marcassano got the job done. Good job getting around his mark and making the big hit on Fisher and bringing him down for a stop. And really taking him out of any possibility of trying to go forward on 4th down. They're going to punt. So Kraus, it's again a good snap, and Kraus will kick it, go for the sideline, and they're able to dead that ball at the 1. Very nice job by the Strath Haven special teams. Do that. O'Connor gets all the way down there and is able to knock the ball out of bounds. And work cut out for Daryl Pascoli and the Bucks. So we'll see what they have cooked up here for the 1-yard line. Dello Pascoli to hand off to Kali. Still on his feet. He'll get a little bit of breathing room out to about the 3. These 7 o'clock starts, whoever started that, man, I got to give a big high five to. It's 7:38. We're almost done the first half. Under the old system, the 7:30 starts. We'd just be getting done the national anthem. So, hats off. Especially because my partner here's got a long drive ahead of her, so I want to get her on the road before it gets too late. Kuyate to about the 9. The 4, I'm sorry. So still 3rd down and about 7. We'll see if they want to throw out of the end zone here. Convery singled up on the outside, probably going to have safety help. They'll pitch to Kuyate. Good block. Good block, and Kuyate really one man away from breaking it for a long one, but they did get a 1st down. And the block by Andrew Grebe is what allowed that to happen. And, if you're a kid like Grebe who's going to be on the wing most of the year, you're probably not going to get a lot of carries with the exception of the jet sweep. So to be able to go out there and make that block, good for him. Andrew Grebe, a very nice kid, has a locker near mine, a lot near my room, and, real polite kid. Grebe rewarded with the carry, and it gets about 13 yards. So 2 great plays in a row by number 4, Andrew Grebe. Did. That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, yeah. And really, isn't that what it's all about? Two wide receivers to the near end. Call and Convery. 4 wide receivers overall. Gotta love this formation. Della Priscoli.
What do you do? What happened there? Nobody ran. The backside guys didn't do nothing.
Who ended up keeping it.
Looking left for the swing
And
left.
Della Priscoli saw, and truthfully, for a guy making his first start, to not throw that ball is a real grown-up move on his part.
Our running back just threw up all over the sideline. Did they know that? Shoot him back. He was puking. Yes, Coach was puking. Hold on, let him get set.
So Forte with the carry. Forte
That's it.
lumbering,
3 yards short.
be about 3rd and 3. Kuyite out for a second, and call in there, I believe it taking over for him at the running back position. So Kuyite getting some electrolytes in his system. You see that'll be Grebe at the running back position. On the pitch out. Good block by Forte. And they're going to be about a yard short. And unless Clancy calls a timeout, which he might. I mean, I would if I was Clancy. But
Run out, full timeout.
We got 2 timeouts, don't we, guys?
Yeah, want to play the clock? Let it run down. Try and draw them all.
so I would have thought Clancy would call a timeout, force him to kick it, and set up a return. But I guess they're going to just, and they call a timeout. So no desire there for the Bucs to take a chance, give Strath Haven real good field position. And while this sign here, it provides a nice elbow rest right at my level. It's a little shaky, and I'm afraid to put too much pressure on it. But again, David White, for the first time in my many years of being up here in the broadcast booth, has a sign on the broadcast booth. So hats off to David White.
Yeah, Daddy goes in on front.
But Ed Barrar actually called it the David White broadcast booth, the press box or something like that. I had never ever heard that before. I mean, not that they have to run such changes by me or anything, but they absolutely should. And look at Ryan Snyder. Man gets a job at Glen Olden School, and he still winds up coming to the game. Della Priscoli's punt this time a lot better, and by the time they dead this ball, they'll be under 10 seconds.
We go down.
Oh. And the ref stops him at about 6 seconds, so I'm fairly certain that Strath Haven will kneel on the ball one time. Frank Rodeo also down there making an early season appearance. Yeah, some changes afoot for sure. As Ryan Snyder, they're going to be the new principal at Glen Olden School, taking over for Rachel Lambert, who's going to move up to central admin. And then their sister principal, Brad, whose last name escapes me because I never actually worked with him, is going to take over the kindergarten center. So lots of changes taking place, all good changes for sure. It's halftime here at South Avenue Sports Complex, so we'll see you when we get back. 6 Love Bucks. All right, half number 2 set to begin. Bucks holding the lead 6-0. This Convery with the kickoff. And that'll go to Ibrahim Pio.
Middle. All right, boys.
It'll be about 33-yard line to start off half number 2. So neither team really able to get a lot going offensively. You know, some first downs here and there. But as they got closer and closer to the red zone, drive stalled. And the only score coming on a special teams play.
Wham to the tight end. Wham to the tight end.
Hussein, the carry. Marcusano and company on the stop. Try and get some scores from around Delaware County as well. As we'll look on the Twitterverse and see what's up.
Motion pass.
Fisher to a wide open O'Connor out in the flat, and he'll hit it back to the inside to midfield for the first down.
Are we in cover 2? They rolled 3. They rolled 3 to the side. Lazy halfback motion is a trigger for the pass.
So first and 10 for Strath Haven.
Guard tackle.
Brett McLaughlin with the stop.
Wing C, they're going to go up right. Wham, down here, wham.
And it'll be third down and about 3 after that carry from Hussein. So Hussein and O'Connor really getting the most of the carries daily. Chimes in with a few, usually on a sweep type play. It's been more Hussein as of late.
Down here, wham.
This is going to be a keeper for Fisher. Convery is able to stop him shy of the first down, I would think. It'll be 4th down and short.
Watch the ball. What's he call? What do you call? All right. Guard tackle or wham.
So 4th and very short. We'll see.
Wham right.
And it's going to be Hussein for a first down and then some. Now they say the ball, but then the refs are saying down. So Interboro thinks they got the ball. Refs saying the ball was down. Garner Valley with a 13-love lead on Ruston. You go, Coach Jeff Allison over there running the defense. Ridley over Father Judge, Upper Darby over Bonner. Nothing surprising there.
Pass.
Fisher with the
It's the giveaway.
pass,
Come on.
and he gets it out to O'Connor for about 4 on first down. Interesting game there in Pennsbury and Academy Park. I'm surprised to see, a game. Pennsbury is such a big school playing Academy Park early on. Coach Foshesky really stepping it up. 14-6 lead for Pennsbury at halftime.
Sweep. Oh, man. Khalid's too far.
And Haven having their way inside the 25-yard line. And another first down.
Do we want to get a timeout? Timeout.
And Coach D'Esposito wisely wisely takes a timeout. Try and settle this barrage down by Strath Haven that they've been able to march up the field. A little bit over 40 yards of scrimmage in just over 4 minutes. Springfield with a 21-love lead.
Backer's down. Is down. Is he the what backer name is he? Who, Downey? Hero? Is he right? Like our, yeah. He always go strong?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I'm not sure, but I think he's the one that does this, whether it's the hero or the Mike.
So first down. This time it's Daly stacked up for about a yard or two. Downey in there. Ricky Neal in there. Brett McLaughlin as well. So we're 4 minutes into the half. Again, the Bucks holding the 6-0 lead, but Strath Haven driving down the field. As really, they've been able to get a couple of first downs on each drive, as has Interboro, but no offensive touchdowns yet in this football game. They're going to pass this Fisher. Bird with some pressure, and then Tim Comfrey with the interception in the end zone. He'll run it out to about the 13. And that interception made possible by Marquise Bird, who was able to get pressure on the Bird. It was either Bird or Mike Moore. One of the two got pressure on the quarterback and obscured the throw a little bit. It may have been Mike Moore. I don't know which one to give credit, whether it was Bird or Moore. Mike Moore, really a physically impressive young man. Glad he's playing football. Didn't play last year, but he's the kind of kid who I really think can help. Strong and athletic. This is Kuyate. Kuyate to the outside. Kuyate using his speed past midfield down to the 42-yard line.
Give him a breather.
And a great play on defense leads to a great play on offense.
Give him a breather.
Kuyate right out of danger from the 14 all the way to the 40. 46 yards, 42 yards on the carry as they move it back to the 43.
What do you got here?
Forte.
Hey, Coach.
Forte ahead for 4 inside the 40.
D-Rock, you there? They ran 11 plays that series. They abandoned that slot 2 that they're running in the first half. The last 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 plays were out of the wing T. They're running sweep and power to the wing backs, and they're running wham.
Forte and Kuyate again behind. This time back to Kuyate. He'll get about 3. It'll be 3rd and 4. Long 4.
He's going short. He's going short side.
The check call out of the game. And we'll see what Coach Lennox dials up here. Tim Convery really making his presence felt, though, offensively and defensively. This is an 11th grader, so we'll see him for another year after this. Sweep to Grebe on the outside. They drop the box. Should be a first down. So they're down to the 33 and a first down. It was actually Forte who led the way for the Bucks in the first half, but Kuyate with that monster run will go ahead of Forte in terms of yards on the ground. Now Forte with about 3 there gets up to the 30. To see all the administration down there in administration corner, Principal Ryan Johnston, Assistant Principal Sean Conti, Assistant Principal Ryan Snyder, I guess we can still call him that, Mr. McLaughlin down there, Mr. Rodea, Jen Fanning down there, all kinds of Bucks employees. Kuyate with a little bit of room. First down. Down to the 20. Also, Athletic Director Ed Kloss. I'll tell you one thing, whoever's steaming heaters down here needs to stop. It's a no smoking zone. Option. Good job by Della Piscoli, very elusive.
What's with Grebe?
Second and about 4. They'll pitch to Kuyate. Once again, a great seal on the outside by Forte. Kept that hole open, and Khalid Kuyate in for 14 yards out. And that's the type of offensive drive that you need. And the Bucks will go up 12-0. And we'll see if they want to try and chase that point or not.
Louis, what were you saying about Grebe?
And they will go ahead and try to kick the extra point with Convery. Snap and hold her down, and that kick was much better. And through. So we'll excuse that first kick to maybe some nerves or being tired from the...
He has a tired leg. Might as well go for 2. Right. Next time he returns a punt.
But he drilled that ball through with plenty to spare. So 4:16 to go in quarter number 3. And the Bucks with a 13-0 lead, which is a lot more comfortable than a 6-0 lead. And thus far, anyway, the Panthers haven't shown a lot of quick strike ability. You know, they've had some time-consuming, sustained drives where they've, 10, 12 play drives where they've been able to move the ball down the field, but they haven't been able to move the ball really too deep into the red zone yet. Big interception last time stalled that drive as they tried to throw the ball into the end zone. So we'll see, if they change things up a little bit. I would imagine that they squib kick the ball again. The guys out here on special teams, you see Dan Call, Washington. You also see number 33 out there. That's Evan Sorrentino, Tymir Bickings, Mike Moore, Joe Forte on special teams, Zizza on special teams, Grebe on special teams, Ventura on special teams. So you see a nice little mix of starters and players who maybe don't play as much. Joe Noble out there also. I'm sorry, that's Marcasano out there as they squib kick it down to the 34.
Yes.
So they'll get the line of scrimmage the 35-yard line.
Sweep right.
Daily yard, maybe 2. Bird.
All right, 2nd and 9. Now
With stop was Bird. I think it was Bird. They said Rick Neal. I think Bird got back there.
they're going to come this way. They're going to waggle this way. They're waggling this
Fisher
way.
rolls
Watch
out
them
to the
keep
near
doing it.
end.
Yeah.
Fires
Oh,
over
yeah.
the middle.
Good
And
job, Gino.
pass intended that time for Dan Reeves. And it was in there, but it bounced in and out of his chest. Decent throw by Fisher to thread the needle in between Marcasano and Convery, but Reeves unable to hang on. So it'll bring up 3rd down and long in what you would imagine is not 4 down territory. Even though we're inching closer to the 4th quarter, the ball is on the 35.5-yard line. So big play here if you're Interboro. Maybe a chance to get the ball back and kill some more clock.
The wing, 1 by 3. There's a pass coming down here. Watch that wheel post. Wheel post. Wheel post. Wheel post.
Fisher.
It's there. Good.
The
Yes.
ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. It was intended for Daly, but ball never quite made it there. So Fisher's ball, it had to have been tipped by somebody at the line, because there was just no mustard on that ball by the time it got out to him. So we'll bring in number 73 once again, Ryan Krause. He'll punt. He's listed as an offensive guard and defensive end, which he, size-wise looks that way. And it's another decent punt. And inside the 40 to about the 38 is where they'll mark it. And that's where Della Priscoli and the Bucs offense will take over.
Good job, Dig. All right, let's go. Let's finish it. Come on.
So 3:16 time on the clock. Just a reminder, we won't see you again at home for another couple of weeks. Next week, we're at Norristown. The following week at Newman Goretti. Be back here in a couple of weeks. 3 to be exact. Kuyate bounces out Won't get much on that.
52. He's the inside lineman.
That's the deep back.
52 should be our guardsman, right? Or is he the...
So after maybe a loss of a yard there, now a ball on the ground, and we'll wait and see. Strathaven thinks they have it, and really for a game that was looking more and more comfortable, that's exactly what the Bucks didn't need. And Strathaven is given possession of the ball.
We got to run that with Grebe. Yeah.
So Strathaven with good field position at the 37.5 yard really their best field position of the evening. Up the middle, Hussein, ball out! And I think Interboro fell back on top of it. A nice stick downfield. Hussein had a nice 7-8 yard run. They're still fighting for it down low. We're waiting on a signal. Second down, they say. So somehow Strathaven able to fall back on top of it. But big hit, and it knocked the ball back about 5 yards. And just Strathaven happened to be on the bottom of the pile and able to pick it up. It'll be second down at about 6.
Here comes Wham. Follow the fullback. Bang, fullback got the football.
Hussein again,
Stop him, come on.
and he's able to fall forward after a spin. Gets about 3 yards when it could have been none.
Sweep left, up, no, sweep right. Sweep right, sweep right, sweep
It's
right.
Daly.
Sweep right.
And he's brought down, I think, a little bit shy of the first down. It'll be 4th and short. 4th and about a yard. Strathaven really no choice but to go for it here. Minute 15 and counting in quarter number 3, but 2 scores down. So they really need to put something on the board. And quarterback keeper, and how about that? Boy, and talk about the all-time dumb luck. He was really just trying to get a yard or two, and they never brought him down, and he maintained his feet and just walked into the end zone up the gut. Did Fisher. And it's weird how dumb plays like that can really turn the tide of a football game too sometimes. I hope that's really just a one-off, and Interboro is able to get it back together. But either way, Strathaven's on the board. It's 13-6. I talked to one local college scout who's actually here to see Strathaven's kicker, Emmett Young. So I imagine, he's a pretty good kicker if there's a college scout here to see him. Good snap. Good hold. Ball drilled through. So 13-7 with 49 seconds to go.
All right, boys, we're moving the football. All right.
And really just a strange play there is, Fisher really only wanted a yard or two. But he said, I'll take it. You're not going to bring me down. I'll just keep running forward. And the Red Sea parted, and he made it right through for a long touchdown run.
Who's claiming responsibility down
hats off to the Bucks kids again. Managed to organize themselves to all wear black. So we got that much right. Not a huge crowd, but pretty much filling up the student section over there. Hats off to the band; they're here, which is fantastic. No cheerleaders here tonight, but the band's here, and that's big. As far as I'm concerned, and Strathaven's band's not here. For all the love and publicity that they get, their band's not here. So just not here. Grebe on the kickoff return. Out past the 30, and of course there's the obligatory flag on like every special teams play. So we'll wait and see. They're already calling the illegal block, it looks like. Really? I didn't know that. Like the one they have? No kidding. I did not know that. I did actually know that. I read it in the paper, I'm sure. I thought it was an old one, though. Well, that's unfortunate. But I was merely making a statement that they weren't here, which, I'm a broadcast journalist. I report the facts. And they're I mean, if you look across, they are, in fact, not here. Alternative facts. You just pulled a Kellyanne Conway on me. I like that. So, Bucks, about 4 on first down. And I'm not certain they're going to run another play in quarter number 3. In fact, I'm quite certain they're not going to run another play. So we'll move on to the fourth quarter with a 13-7 lead. The Bucks in control of the ball.
Good, got it. Should work. We got field to work with anyway. Outside backer to the side of our slot usually screws down when the slot goes across the field. Getting him to go back into the box, it leaves a big cushion for our tight end coming across.
I did. Did you get those for him? I'm fairly certain that if I click that, it's not going to be what yeah. Yes. And I don't want to see that right now. 12 minutes to go in this one. It is 8:38 Eastern Standard Time, so real good timing. Unless this game somehow goes into 4 overtimes, should have plenty of time to go out and get some dinner. That'd be awesome. Della Priscoli reverses field, looking for an open receiver, runs, gets very close to first down yardage. We'll see if he was able to get up to the 32.
Brett was good. Where was our fullback? Yeah, Brett was mirroring.
They'll give him the 30, so it'll be 3rd down and 2. A good elusiveness by Jared, and again, nobody to throw to. Don't throw it. I mean, they're saying 3rd down and 2, but I got to tell you, I mean, the way if you look at that spot, it's 3rd down and about 6 inches. They're going to bring it in. They're going to measure it.
Right, exactly. I was looking for the fullback in the flat. I don't know what
So first play of the fourth quarter leads to a measurement. We're still waiting on, and now they're saying he's about a yard short. And now it's a half a yard short. He's also saying it's fourth down, but it's not. It's third down.
do you got here? Say that again? Okay.
So I think we have it settled. The ball is going to be at the 31-yard line. It's about a yard short of the first down. It'll be third down and 1. We'll see if the boys in the trenches are able to get that extra yard and give the Bucks another set of downs. Wyatt McDevitt, Rick Neal, Noah Nickel, Brett McLaughlin, the tight end. Nick Ewing. Let's see what they can do.
Regroup.
And I think Strath Haven jumped. They didn't throw a flag, but Bucks got the first down anyway. Forte with about 4. All he needed was 1. They'll mark at the 35. And they'll wind the clock right away.
Jet sweep left. Jet sweep left. Is that right? Buck sweep.
Pitch out, Kuyate. Room, Kuyate. Shoestring tackle after a 13-yard gain, and he was again a step away from really popping another one.
That's their weak side. Start nailing it on their weak side.
And really, if you're Interboro, you just keep running the ball and keep trying to pick up first downs. And if you're able to get another score, you know, you should be in pretty good shape for this one. 11-13 and counting. Forte just lumbers forward to about the 44. Just talked to his brother Dave downstairs. Great kid, former wrestler. He played football too, actually, but really better known for his exploits on the mat. Still looks like he can get out on the mat and rough some people up. Oh, bad pitch out, and Strath Haven, I think, got it. I don't know. We'll see. And the pitch, it looks like Kuyate just wasn't ready for it. Didn't make the catch. Now, somehow Interboro was able to fall back on it. And they actually, with that, gained a yard or two. Sometimes, you know what they say, you can step in you-know-what and come out smelling like a rose, and that's apparently what happened there. Third down and like half a yard. Strath Haven jumped again.
How many times are they going to be offside?
Forte again. So really a carbon copy of what happened on the last 3rd and 1. The Strath Haven jumped off sides, not called. And Forte gets the first down anyway. But clock restarts. We're under 10 minutes now.
They're in a 5 now. They went to a 5.
Kuyate on the toss. Kuyate stays in bounds. Inside the 30 to the 28, 27.
They went to a 5. What's that? They went to a 5 that play. So that they might try and take away them traps.
Very close to another first down. And they're going to give it to him. First down, so they tell, the ref is trying to tell the chain gang, move it up so he can start the clock again. Bucks are ready to play. Strath Haven may be getting a little bit tired, which is understandable. Not that hot of a night, but it is the first football game. You know, PIAA in their infinite wisdom, you know, basically gives these teams like 2 weeks of camp.
Oh, that's Mike Moore. Okay, good. That's
So
all right. He's got to get the butterflies out. That's his first down.
they're all a little bit, you know, it's tough to get it going in this first week. Moore with the carry there.
Ball sweep right.
Got about 5.
Ball sweep right. Is that what he said, Zach? Okay. Ball sweep right. Oh, left.
Going to Kuyate. He's stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Now they've run that play the last couple of second downs, so maybe Coach Clancy, guys on the defensive staff at Strath Haven, maybe they're starting to notice a pattern there. This will be third down a little bit longer.
5 yards. 2 for 5. That backer's screwing down tight if he wants to maybe try a belly pass Z dump.
Della Priscoli under center. He's got 2.
He might, if you want to suggest a Z dump there.
And this time it's going to be Grebe on the sweep.
Way to cut it up. Good job.
Grebe turns the ball upfield, and we'll see about the spot. Chain gang looking like they want to move. They're going to wait on the direction of the head official. And they do say first down. So ball on the 16. That ball snapped. And I think Della Priscoli fell back on top of it. You don't see Strath Haven celebrating, so they did get it back, but they'll lose a yard there and a down. Fortunately, Della Priscoli able to pick up that snap from center.
What you got, guys? Zach, what do you got, man? Wham left. Good call. That big bubble there. There it is.
There
Kuyate
it is.
up the middle, knee down at about the 12, maybe the 11.
Driving home. Right to the end zone. 10 more yards. 2 plays to get 4. 2 plays to get 4.
Little delay handoff to Grebe that time, inside the 5 to about the 4 or the 3. First down and goal.
He runs that.
Grebe, who saw pretty significant time on special teams last year, you know, makes his presence felt as a two-way starter and has done a nice job on both ends in this game. Kuyate on the toss sweep. He'll walk into the end zone. That's 2 for Kali. That'll make it 19-7 pending the extra point. 6:39 to go. We'll see Convery line it up again. Ventura to hold. We've had one really poor kick and one really awesome kick, so we'll see. And this one is drilled through again, so good job by Tim. So hats off too to some, if not all, of our sponsors. We'll try and get all of them mentioned, but you can see these beautiful signs across the front. Pilot Freight Services, Romano's, they have Coco's Pizza, Long and Foster Real Estate Agent Dave Peltz, one of the really great people in the Interboro community. I really like Mr. Peltz a lot. Band booster, also the brother of band director Mark Peltz and the father of Brian Peltz, one of the math teachers here. On the roll painting. Finish line collision. Nick Rentos Carpentry and Masonry, and the father of Nick Rentos, as you might imagine. District champion quarterback. Convery's kick stops at about the 20. Daly forward to about the 37, so similar results. The Healthplex, which is a really fantastic gym and the health center around here in Springfield. Haggerty's Cafe and Bar, our boys Frank Rodeo and Russ Perry, the proprietors of that fine establishment. Maybe not a bad place for some folks to stop after the game. Fisher, the throw. Finds O'Connor outside. Kuyate and Convery with the stop. Not before a 7-yard gain.
They're going to lull us to sleep and then run wheels. Convery, move back. There we go, good.
Fisher again. Pressure up the middle and a big stick. And Zizza right up the middle. Pounds his chest after that sack. And he had a lot of sacks last year. Really it became a formidable force on a defensive line. This year going both ways. And was able to bust through that line. And, this juncture of the game, under 6 minutes, the Bucks look so much fresher, so much more fresh than Strath Haven. It's been hands on hips time for like a quarter now for Strath Haven. And the Bucks are still bouncing around. And that's because of the off-season conditioning and the weightlifting that they do. Dowdy with the stop. Help from Marcasano. And Strath Haven will call timeout. Going to be 4th down and long. And really, I guess they don't have any choice. I mean, it's, 5 minutes to go. So with 5 minutes to go, timeout on the field. Strath Haven trying to figure out how they're going to get 10 yards and maybe prolong this game a little bit. Interboro trying to figure out how they're going to make a stop and then hopefully just salt this game away.
Keep an eye on 3, because he was just talking to the coach.
You got Foster and Reeves, wide receivers to the outside. 3 wide receivers to the far end of your screen. Mike Moore up the middle with the sack. Mike Moore, rather, around the outside. And he just jumped on Fisher, brought him down by the legs. And a great first effort here, first varsity game, I would say, for Mike Moore. Making his presence felt. And a great combination of speed and power, Mike Moore. And I think there's a guy that over the course of this year, you're going to see a lot more of. You know, someone like a Tarja Faikai was last year, where you didn't think, know a lot about him going into the year because he didn't play football the year before, but you sure as heck know about him as the season moves on. Interboro with the ball inside the 30-yard line. Forte gets it up to about the 26. 25 is the spot. And the Bucks will be in no hurry whatsoever. That I think was Moore also. Yeah, Moore for about 2 or 3. And Haven calls a timeout. I think they'll be down to 1. So we did not see the band's field show, but we did see the band. So I look forward to seeing that show debut whenever it debuts. I guess I'll be here in a couple weeks. May travel to Norristown next week, may not. We'll see. More than likely, I'll catch some other local game. Although next weekend's a holiday weekend, is it not?
What you got here?
Moore. First down for Mike Moore. And really, with Strath Haven taking a timeout there and then Moore with the first down, Strath Haven down to 1 timeout and pretty much, Interboro can have their way with the clock the rest of the way. Moore and Forte, the running backs. Grebe on the wing. There it is, Moore, cuts outside. Moore inside the 5 and very close to the end zone. They'll have him down at the 1. They'll have him down at the 1. So nice run by Mike Moore. And I got to tell you, you didn't see a lot of Moore in the first 3 quarters of this game. If he's able to provide yet another option out of the backfield with Kuyate, Forte, and also Grebe, I think Bucks' opponents this year are going to be in for a real tall order. Because there's some offensive firepower. The Bucks line always plays well. Moore gets in, so his first varsity touchdown, Mike Moore. And I don't think there's a person associated with Interboro High School that doesn't like Mike Moore. Really good, solid kid. I know for a fact every teacher I talk to just thinks he's a wonderful kid. So good to see him get a touchdown. 26-7. Not a blowout by any stretch of the imagination, but truthfully, the Bucks really controlled this game most of the game. Convery's kick falls short, so 26-7 will be the score for now. 2:49 to go. And even though, the Bucks didn't score a lot of touchdowns or a lot of points, they have really done pretty much what they wanted to do most of the game. A lot of bend but don't break on the defensive end. They have a special teams touchdown. Kuyate with 2, and now Mike Moore with 1. So it appears that it's all over but the crying here, as the coach and staff for Interboro has vacated the premises. The Interboro boosters are already taking down the sponsorship signs, but we do have 3 minutes left to play in this game. And Mags and I, we see everything to the conclusion, There's no ducking out on our end. I will say I've now sent my wife 3 consecutive texts with no response. My limit's 4. When I get to 4, I start contacting my lawyer. Squib kick to the 40, picked up by Ethan Belleville, who earlier in the game, if you remember back, actually broke free on a route, tight end route, and Fisher just didn't see him, or else he would have been gone for a touchdown. So when Strath Haven goes to look at this game on film, which they no doubt will do, they'll see that there were some opportunities and some areas to clean up. I think Strath Haven will win a couple games this year. That's Foster. Brought down by Tymir Bickings. Start to see a couple other guys out on the field now. Also Justin Robinson, the other cornerback. Evan Sorrentino. Kevin Washington. So some backups are in there. We'll try and get Zach Mufti. Mix it in there. Up the middle goes Hussein. There's a 71 out there who's not identified. Foster again outside. And how about the band playing Get the Beat Down without the help of the cheerleading squad? I got to tell you, man, I'm not sure who the most valuable player this evening is. I want to say Katie Maggs for coming here on a night when she had a wedding or a wedding rehearsal. I want to say me for being in mid-season form after several months off. I want to say Ed Kloss for running yet another successful football game. But it may very well be Mark Peltz in this Bucks band. Foster, if he'd have gotten his arms up, he would have had 6. Sorrentino on the coverage. But how about Mark Peltz and this Bucks band showing up in late August and bringing their, at the maybe their A- game. You know, we didn't see the field show, so I don't even know if I can give them an A-. But hey, they came and they played Get the Beat Down, so hats off to the band. And I really like these Rocky shirts. I'm going to find a way to cop one by the end of the year. Fisher outside. Fisher still scrambling. Fisher cuts back. Brought down finally by Dylan Kolesnik at about the 15. Going to spot that ball on that ref. This ref, I don't know who he is, but he's done an excellent job of winding the clock on the ready. Handoff. Right up the middle goes Daly. Close to another first down. And now the Bucs will call timeout. And there you see an example of just trying to get, tighten up the second team defense. Now, mind you, this is Strath Haven's ones against Interboro's twos. And truthfully, you don't always see them put the twos in with, I want to say only a 19-point lead. I mean, the outcome of this game is very much not in doubt, but still not a huge lead. I mean, I think Coach Lennox and Coach D'Esposito could very well be justified in keeping the starters in. But I like this move where you bring some of these second-team guys in, give them a little bit of experience at the varsity level under the lights on Friday night, because football is a rough game, and you never know when someone could go down and the next man up. That's Hussein down to about the 1 yard line. It'll be a first down, but not a touchdown. And again, they'll stop the clock, spot it, and wind it. First and goal. Fisher to Hussein, who pretty much walks in very easily. And Strath Haven with what you would call, I guess, the garbage time touchdown. And they'll go for two. Fisher with the option, then reverses field, looks for a man back at the end zone, and it bounces around and no good. So it'll be 26-13 with 1:09. You would think that an onside kick is pending here. And really, should there not be a successful onside kick, I would think that pretty much pack it up. Even if it's successful, I think it's still, highly unlikely that Strath Haven's able to punch two more in the last 1:09. But boy, would that be a story to tell. So we'll see what Emmett Young's onside kick game looks like. Back in the day, you used to be able to line up everybody on one side, but they make it now so that there has to be a minimum number on each side. And obviously Interboro still has to keep their regular returners back somewhat deep. No evidence of any kind of a hands team here. I mean, these are still special teams guys. Not a great onside kick. Dylan Kolesnik, I think, gobbled it up. So, and a good job by him, really. I mean, there's a guy who's a second-team lineman who, isn't going to see a lot of passes thrown his way for sure. And he did his job there. He took that kick, and now it didn't get any type of a bounce. There was no bounce on that. So, not a great onside kick attempt. But I still, that very easily could have bounced off the chest of Kolesnik and gone the way of Strathaven. Ventura in a quarterback now. And he hands off to Kyle Bonner. Bonner, an 11th grader. And you probably see one more play before they fall on it if they don't just do that now. Ventura actually a senior. And a lot of people thought that by the time he became a senior, he'd be the starting quarterback here, but I don't believe he played football last year, and that probably inhibited his chances. Good baseball player, good overall athlete, nice kid. That was Sorrentino on what will probably be the last play for scrimmage. So I want to say thank you to all of you who stood by and listened to this, and will listen to it repeatedly on the internet. Thanks for Mags for sacrificing family time. And it's good to be back. And I wish everybody another great school year and the Bucks another great football season. But it's good to be 1-0. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Take care. Bye-bye.